All right, so in there we want, well, I guess I should have had you open. We want the lesson 5. Oh, crud. Come on, just there. Under finish, do you see, under lesson 5, do you see a folder called finish? Under finish, do you see second underscore server 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3? Open up 5.1. Is it empty?
Not the window.
Why is mine empty? I know it was in here. I just saw it. Why is it coming up empty on mine? Let's try this. Got it. Okay. Okay, it looks a little bit different, but it's basically what we just put in, okay? It looks a little bit different in that on mine at least, that line 8 and 9, that const, that's why I was getting the error, const get JSON equals. I didn't have that line in mine. That's why mine didn't work. All right, so with that one there, okay, I'm going to go in and go back into Git. And now, if your server's running, stop it. All right, and you're going to have to do a CD to your desktop. So do a CD to ... Oh, there's so much junk here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you with this. That's no big thing. Just minimize that if you would. And minimize that too. All right, where's the one that you copied in? Okay, double click on that. Okay, like you did before. No, you just go to the unit 5, drag that up here. Okay, you won't even need this one now. It's not right now, so. Yeah. Okay, now, if you got Visual Studio Code open with anything, just close all those. They ask if you want to save it. Save, that's up to you. Right mouse click on the folder. Choose Open with Code. This is where I want it to be. All right. Now you're going to need a lesson 5 open. You're going to have all that other stuff. Go to Finish on here. Open up that first one. The main.js. Okay, that's what we want. Now, go back into Git there. Do a CD space ... Hit enter. Do a CD to minimize that. I forgot what it's called. Minimize that too. What it means right there. Lesson 5. Yeah. Now type in, just type in ls and hit enter. You're not going to be able to run it yet. Okay, CD space finish. Enter. Do another ls and hit enter. Okay, and do a CD to that. No slash on the end, once you put that in, but everything else type it in exactly as it is. All right, type in LS one more time. You're gonna, look, now type in, clear the screen. And type in node space main. You get an error in there. Oh, it's that status code. Okay. Type in npm I http, what it has right here, http dash code, but don't hit enter. Space minus s, big S, enter. Okay. Hit your up arrow twice. Okay, hit enter. There's one. Okay, go back to your browser screen. Type in now type that in again and hit enter. Good. Now go back to your Git window. Okay, you can see all the stuff. That's what we did. Okay, but they had us redo it. So let's talk about, if you would, bring up Visual Studio Code, bring up that file, and I want to talk about what's in there. Okay. Now I'm not saying that what's in there you're going to go, oh, that makes 100% sense. But I just do want you to understand a little bit about what's going on. So it's not a big program. It's 35 or so lines. Let's just go over it. You know what ustrict is. All right, we've talked about that before. That means that you're not going to be allowed to take any shortcuts, for lack of better words. Okay? All right. Then we've got our port. We're making it a constant, and we're setting our port to 3000. I told you 3000 or 5000 are the ports that are most often used for Node. There are other ones you can use as well, but those are the two that you hear most of the time. Then we're requiring the HTTP module. All right. After that, we're requiring the HTTP codes. All right. You had to reinstall that. I didn't. I'm not sure why. I wouldn't, but since it's a copy, maybe that's why. I don't know. Then we're doing our app. So instead of just doing, server equals HTTP create server, now we're just calling it app. All right. Then this next thing that we're doing, we're setting up this get JSON string. And again, that's where I was getting the error. But notice it says return JSON.stringify. What that is doing is, hopefully what you notice now is when you took a look at the stuff that had printed out on the screen, and I got to do it now myself. So node, here, let me do this. Clear node main. CD. Node main. Now I've got the same message you just did about the status codes. npm I http status codes minus big S. Oops, it's going to be an error because I didn't. So I hit enter too fast. Okay, it's listing on port 3000. Boy, I didn't think we'd have any trouble with this, to be honest with you. All right, this will show on the screen. You've seen that already. All right. hopefully what you notice, okay, when you take a look at your get page, so to speak, do you see how the stuff isn't as ugly as it was before? That was the get JSON string that we put in there. We basically went in and we called stringify to pretty it up a little bit. Okay, so if you look at your code, so go back to Visual Studio Code if you would please. What we're saying is when you get a request, we're creating an empty array called body. Okay, once we get the data in, when you get it in pieces, body.push means throw it onto the array. All right, so basically you're filling the array with whatever information you get in there. So as it gets some information, it chunks it and it throws it in there. When you're all done, concatenate all of it together. That's lines 19 through 22. And request body contents, then show everything. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Then we're doing the log where we've got the method that shows the method we used, the URL we used, and the header we used. Other than that, it's the same thing we did before. All right? So, with all that, let's jump to page 54 in the book. And the author says here, first full paragraph on the page, with this added code, your app is prepared to receive posted data collection into an array and convert it back to string format. When the event is triggered, indicating some chunk of data has been reached by the server, you handle that data by adding the chunk to an array. That's exactly what I just told you. All right, because we haven't built a form yet, it says you can use a curl command. All right, we're going to actually try this. And to see if we can get it to work or not, I don't know if it will. But let's see. We should be able to keep our server, it's still running. We should be able to keep it running. But I want you to open up another Git window, please. So another Git bash. And we're going to have to change over, I think, to the same directory that we were in. So I'm going to at least try to do that. I think this is what we have to do. So I'm going to come in here and say cd to desktop. All right. Open a new terminal window. That's what we just tried to do here. Dash. In order to get this to work, what's shown in figure 5.2 on the bottom of the page, we'd have to go back and reinstall a few things. I don't really think we should do that right now. I want to go on so that you have got a chance to sit and do some work today. So I'm jumping over to page. It's not going to hurt anything. What they're doing is they're fake creating a form on the bottom of page 52. And they're using a Unix command called curl to do it. Earlier in the book, they said that if you wanted to have curl on your screen, you had to load another package first, so curl was able to understand what it is, because curl is a Unix or Linux package. So I don't want to do that now because I think it'd be a waste of our time, to be honest with you. There's better ways of doing it than the way that they show it to you. All right. I'm jumping on to page 55 where it says here, adding routes to an application. Again, a route is a way of determining how an app should respond to a request. An app should route a request to the home page differently than one for login. So if you go to index.html, you should get different content back than if you go to contact.html. That makes sense. You've established that the user can make a request to your web server. From there, you can evaluate the type of request and prompt an appropriate response. Consider, says, your simple web server code so far has one response to any request. This example accepts any request and responds the same way. So in other words, right now with 5.5, that isn't exactly like ours looks, but it's pretty much. So every time you bring this up on the screen, you may or may not have noticed this, you can do this right now. We went to HTTP localhost 3000 and it should say, when you do it now, it should say this will show on the screen, okay? But if I go to HTTP localhost 3000/hello and I hit enter, guess what comes up? The same exact thing. Because it has only one route right now, and it's saying no matter what I put in there, just show the message, this will show on the screen. All right? So, as mentioned, then I'm turning up to page 56 in the book. The author says, as a first web application, this is a great accomplishment, but you need to start creating something with a little bit more functionality. Next paragraph down, the next step in checking the client's request and basing the response body on that request's contents, also known as application routing. So what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to set up what's shown in 5.6 on the bottom of page 56 and the top of page 57. So let's take a look at it. All right. Notice what this is saying. The first thing you're doing is you're creating, this is an object, just so you know. This is a JSON object where it says const route response map. See that? And objects are key and then value pairs. So the first key is /info. The content will be h1 info page h1. The next one is /contact. Get the idea? So the idea is after you put this information in, if you go to localhost 3000, all right, and you put in /info, it should bring up that h1 tag. If you go to contact, etc. Okay, so how does that do it? Look on the bottom of the page here, the very bottom of page 56, and then going on to page 57. You might want to put half of each page on the screen right now. So it says basically if you find the URL you're looking for, show it. Otherwise, just say welcome. Does that make sense? All right. So I don't know if this is number 2 or number 3, but we're going to find out. So I'm going to go to second server again. But I want second server. Let's see, is this it? No, it is not. So bring up second server 5.3, the last one. All right, it's the same code I just showed you. It's actually smaller than the last one that we had. So do this if you would, please. Okay, first of all, stop your server if it's running with a Control-C. Clear the screen. All right, right now we're under second server 5-1, correct? Let's see. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right one. All right, type in this command then, cd, so hit cd, that's change directory, space, period, dot, then a / right next to your shift key down on the bottom, not a backslash, /, then the word second, underscore, the word server, underscore, 5, underscore, 3. Did it change your path then from 5.1 to 5.3?
I think I just wrong side. No, it says you
All right, we'll get it. Right, now, type the same thing that's right here now. Oh, wait a minute, you're on how did you, are you using OneDrive on your machine? You're in OneDrive.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't either. I might know what the problem is. Okay, we'll see. All right, close this. And that, is this the new one? It's 5.3, okay. Minimize that, minimize that, minimize that. Okay. Double click on that. Double click on finish. Double click on the last, that one right there, yeah. Now, right mouse click on there, right mouse click on a blank space and choose get dash here. Now that's correct. Now type in node space main. Yeah, we did the same thing in the status code. You got to put that command in again. Sorry. npm space I space 8. What I have there? Space minus s. Big S. As soon as that comes back, clear your screen. Hit your up arrow twice. Go ahead. You have, is that running anyplace else?
I see anything. This is for this one.
It might be, so if you got the other one, just close that.
I'm just trying to.
All right. Yeah. All right, now, minimize that, go back to your browser screen, and yeah, put it, now, refresh, it should say welcome, good. Now go over here, go to the end of that, and put in /info, hit enter, see that? You can go to all the other pages. So what we've done here, there are no files in here yet, but what we've done is we're now able to route. So you can go in there and you can go to /info to go to the info page, /contact for contact, etc. Make sense? All right. Now the only other thing that I want to tell you quickly is if you look in the book, because we're just about through with this chapter, but if you look in your in the PDF, and if you look on page 57, halfway down on the page, you see where it says set timeout. It's listing 5.7. Halfway down on page 57.
Yeah.
Okay, the key takeaway here is what set timeout will do right there is it literally is going to wait for 2 seconds before it does what you tell it to do. Why is it doing that? Because it's simulating you having to wait a couple seconds for the server to react. That's what they're telling you. All right? Okay, and that's it for this chapter. All right, the next chapter, thank goodness, it kind of is short. Let's see if this is still running. It is. I'll tell you what, let's take 10 minutes, all right?